unshackled,
uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for mature ears only.
It's Miguel Fuller.
I would show anything. I'd show my hee-hee and my hoo-hoo and my ha-ha.
Holly O'Connor.
Hey, Daddy, you want to take this to the bedroom?
And Scotty the Body.
I am officially not only the grill daddy, but I'm a hot grill daddy.
Oh,
It's
wow.
the Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast.
Only from Hot 101.5, Tampa Bay's new hit music.
Well, hello, you platypus posse.
Hello.
And thank you to everyone that watches on the Miguel and Holly YouTube.
There's got to be at least one person.
Oh,
Yes, at least
actually,
one.
this podcast actually gets the most views out of all the stuff that I post on our YouTube channel, and we now have people that are starting to comment on the podcast.
Comments and likes?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be blowed.
Mhm.
Oh.
Girl, I am blowed all the time, honey.
Good. Well,
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
You know
It's
what?
not during the week. It's too much.
That's
It's
a lot.
not too much during the
Yes.
week.
So,
Yeah.
so it can be.
Yeah, I know it's lots. I'm tired. I watched Scott have fun during the week.
Got it,
and-
man. Life's short, you know?
No, it's very short, and I'm also very tired.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Hey,
like,
whatever works for you. If
mhm.
it was working for you, go with it.
It's just really interesting to watch Scott operate in that space now that
dear.
he's single
Yeah.
and sort of seeing a different side of you. And
Yeah.
watching you, like the other night, you had a guest over. And
A
is this too much?
guest?
I'm not gonna
Just
say
don't
anything
get
else.
specific on days.
No.
I guess, yeah.
I'm just saying it was the other day.
Who
And
even knows what day it was?
Yeah, I know
exactly.
days
It may
now.
have been last week, or
I
maybe the
know.
week before. We don't
it
know.
was like 8 years ago. I don't know. You were in high school. And I was like making dinner, literally. I was in my like night clothes where it's like, that same ratty undershirt or tank top and
Do you
shorts.
still have that gray Georgia Southern T-shirt, or did you get rid of that?
Oh God, yeah, that's been a long time ago. They got.
I missed that
Yeah.
one. It was like back in the day.
I know, right? That's actually I just found a couple of my old Georgia Southern jackets in the closet, and I was like, should I try to put these on? You know what? No, just these are here for memories. They'll go in my office one day when we have a house.
That's right.
But I'm literally like, it was the day that I do like this eye cream under my eyes to like get the black. So
Yeah.
like I'm sitting there like heating up food, like just looking a hot mess. And then Scott comes bounding up the stairs with his friend, and he's like, "Hey Miguel, here's such and such." And I was like, "Hey girl," like they're drinking wine, get some food. And like Abe and
Wow.
I just look like the parents
Yeah.
that are just sitting at home, like,
Yeah.
what's my little kid doing tonight?
Well,
What's
that's the
in
weirdest
here?"
thing,
You're
like, right now.
100% the parent.
It's like if I ever bring somebody over, it's like, I got roommates and I like really enjoy my roommates. So I'm gonna say hi to my roommates, you know.
It's like you're like, you
And you
wouldn't-
guys are always there
well,
upstairs.
you
Mhm.
wouldn't go like not introduce, like if you're living with your parents, like it would be rude to have a guest in your parents' house without being like, oh, hey, I brought someone over. Would you like to meet them?
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing. Miguel is mama with the face cream on.
I had my hair in rollers, and I'm sitting there with the bacon sheet, just getting some stuff together.
Exactly.
Was it awkward for you, Holly, back when we lived together, if I would ever have someone over? Because it wasn't like I didn't go the Scott route. It was only a couple of times that you would run into someone
Yeah.
that I was like hooking up with.
Now, see, I never cared, but I
Mhm.
could always tell that you cared.
Oh yeah, girl.
And like the awkward energy that would roll off your body would impact the entire. And I'd be like, if it weren't for that, I would have been like, oh, hey, hi, whatever.
Mhm.
But with that, I would be like, am I not supposed to? Should I? I'm a duck. Maybe if I don't
Roll
move,
and hide.
maybe if they won't move, I don't move like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, they won't see me. I won't move. Like it was just, you could tell you didn't want any part. Like I would then try to like make myself busy so that you
Mm.
wouldn't feel as awkward. I don't know. You really awkwarded it up.
I did. Like, I think I remember one of the when we last lived together, Holly, back in 2012.
Yes.
And I remember the last guy I think that I like hooked up with, and I remember being like, "Hey, so I have roommates. I'm just gonna usher you out like real quick. And this is like when we didn't have jobs. So like we were home and like you had just found out that you were pregnant.
Oh.
And so I was like, we're just gonna. And so like literally I made him run from the bedroom to the front door. And I don't know why I was so awkward about that back in the day. Whereas Scott, you're not awkward. Like we know what's about to happen. And we're like, okay, get it.
Like I never, like I would have enjoyed being like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
watch it now.
That's what I think it's kind of fun, but again, it's like, what the, you're gonna know what's happening. So
Right.
you know what? There's just no hiding it. And that's why I kind of made that decision when I was like, I guess I first became single. It's like, the heck, am I gonna act like it's not? That's gonna be really hard to do.
Yeah, welcome to what Miguel tried to do
Yeah, no. So
in a 2-bedroom apartment.
and you know what I honestly I like seeing how people interact with, I guess my roommates or
Mhm.
y'all in general, because I just like seeing how people interact with other people. Because I'm not in a place to look for anything serious, but when I do, that's gonna be a big thing for me. It's like I want you to be able to just adapt. Like my future, whoever that future person is, it's like I want you to be able to like form into like whatever my situation is. Just as in, if you have friends, I'm going to do that with you.
Yeah.
Not everyone has to do that, but my future person, I would like that quality.
And it's a scary thing though, because
Yes.
everybody knows
Exactly.
like, Miguel's judgment has a lot of weight. And as
Yes.
much as
Oh,
you
yeah.
like to think, yo, I'm not a judgy big you're a judger.
Oh yeah.
We know you judging.
I'm not judging. I'm just there
Oh.
watching.
No, yeah, exactly. Your watch is a judge, and I've had comments about your look.
My
Like,
look?
yes.
But that's the thing, Miguel. Like everyone knows meeting you is like a very difficult hurdle to overcome. It has
What?
happened in my life.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
I feel like, yes, I am a little.
I mean,
You have that look.
like I don't know what you tell yourself at night to make yourself like go to bed, but like
No, okay.
you're not like you don't hold grudges.
No.
Well,
Right.
actually, wait a minute.
Oh.
The image though is like he will sit on the couch with like a glass of wine and just kind of be looking over at you.
Yes.
And it's not like he's like smiling and laughing.
He's
It's like if he's not talking to you, he's like
sizing you-
looking at you.
He's sizing you up.
Yes.
Mm. I feel like I didn't know that I did.
This is why I've had a
Well,
comment about.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and Scott, like, I totally get what you're saying, where you want someone, like, I think that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants a partner that can at least, like, fit in or feel comfortable or themselves around your friends.
Mm-hmm.
But that first meeting with Mama Miguel
It is a fun test.
a very difficult one. I have had the comment myself, like I said. Like,
Wait, I need both of you to explain what are the comments that have been said by other people after they met me? Because I'm like, what?
Well, one of my friends,
mhm.
one of my lady friends,
There we go.
they said to me like, I think Miguel doesn't like me.
What?
I think legit, and I have to explain like every time I'm like, no, he actually does. He talks very highly of you. Like you're in good intention. It's just Miguel's just like that. He's just sometimes
I'm like, what?
either jokey, sassy, funny, judgy. But I do explain that you like them. You've never said anything bad.
No.
That's what I'm saying. But your look, if I were to walk up and I see Miguel just looking at me and I didn't know who you were, I'd be like, that bitch is judging me. That I think is the feeling. So you have to just reassure.
I mean,
I have to reassure.
I have realized as we've been doing more video over the course of the year that, because I edit the video. Well, when I say edit, I mean, I download them and I like cut off the beginning and the end. That's it. There's no editing else. And then I upload them to YouTube and social media.
Yeah.
And as I'm like scrubbing through to like find like a screenshot to post as like the little preview, I noticed that like Holly's face, super expressive, Scott's face, super expressive. And I'm just in permanent bitch mode unless something is like surprising to me.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so,
you never have any different facial expressions. Why is that?
yeah, I don't know. Like in my mind, I do. I think I have a very expressive face. But then when I watch our videos, and I feel like a lot of times it's me just listening and
Yeah.
comprehending.
Yeah.
And so like that's what's happening. And Holly, we talk about this whenever we've gotten a new boss, how like when we have a meeting, how my face looks like I'm like, F you,
Yes.
but I'm really just processing. And
Mm.
so I think I have a resting bitch face and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
probably.
Scott's like, yeah.
Yeah. No, you
yeah.
rest. Yeah. Absolutely.
I rest and I'm a bitch.
But see, you have a resting bitch face around like everyone. Like I usually apparently only have a resting bitch face around people that I don't know.
Or if you're ready to go.
Oh.
If Holly's ready to go, there is no energy you have ever felt than a Holly O'Connor who's ready to wrap that shit up and go.
I'm done here.
When I'm done, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
But I love it. Like any other like social interaction, you're like, I don't know. Like, what do we do? How do I do? How do I
Except when it's
approach
time to
it?
go.
When it's time to go, Holly's like, we're done. Okay. All right. It's so not. Bye. I'm always like,
Well,
yeah.
there are some, like, you know what I think it is? Because as I learn more about myself as an empath, but we're getting back to you, Miguel. When I learn more about myself as an empath, like, we can only take so much social interaction.
Mm.
It's almost like an overload of sense. It's a sensory overload. Why couldn't I think of that fucking phrase? It's a sensory overload. And so I am like, at first, and there's like the sweet spot where like I start and I feel awkward because I'm like, this is just going to be like mindless, like, small talk. What is this going to be? Am I going to remember everybody's names? Oh my gosh. So there's a lot of anxiety. And then there's like a sweet spot in the middle there where I'm really enjoying conversing with people and catching up or getting to know or whatever. And then after a while, like it's too much. And my senses are like, I can't take anymore.
Yeah.
So I believe that's where that comes from. When my senses have been like if you were to have like a nuclear reactor video and it's been going up and up and it reaches critical mass and you have to shut down the boilers or whatever.
Yep.
That's me. And so
Boom.
that's why because I've thought about this. I'm like, why do I turn into such a, and I'm not going to say bitch because that's disrespectful to myself.
Right.
But why do I turn into such a forceful, aggressive human when it's time to go? And I think that's what it is. It's my body cannot take it
It's
anymore.
like, we're done here.
So whatever
Yeah.
the situation is, if we've reached like that weird part of a conversation where now everybody sort of knows that the conversation shouldn't be going on anymore,
Right.
I will be like, well, anyway, so look at the
Look
oh my
at the
god.
ta-
Or I will purposely like start to turn my body away. I'm gonna do this on the video. So if I'm facing you, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well,
Mm.
and I
He
will
walks
start
away.
walking because I'm like,
Ooh, have a good day.
someone needs to wrap it up, and I guess it's got to be me.
Mm.
So yeah, I do that. But Miguel, yes, I guess you do have a resting bitch face, and I will say, like, my person, the first time that he was going to meet you, before you came into the room that we were in, he was like, I just know how big of a deal this is. And if this doesn't go well, we can't see each other anymore.
Oh.
Wow. I mean,
really?
Because he knew.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
He knew based on our friendship and our interaction, like, what if you don't like a person? Then what? And we've dealt with that. And I just don't know. You're just that way.
Interesting. I feel like I am so much more of my mother's son than I think because she is that way. Like she cannot, I mean, she can like roll with the punches, but like if Angela doesn't want to do something, Angela's not going to do it. And so, and especially in a relationship with Abe, I really have to do a job of checking myself. Because like we actually just had this conversation the other day because we're talking about like sort of a major purchase that we want to do down the line. And like we've combined our finances. And so we're saving together. And it's pretty much like a get what you want. We're good. We're fine. But this thing that we've been talking about buying together, in my mind, it's like down the down the line. So it's not an immediate thing that I need to like focus my attention on. But he's a person that like needs that one thing to focus on that's like really great. That's not work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
it's like a fun goal to look forward to.
right. And so like he's always sending like articles about it or research on it. And I'm just like, that's cool. That's cool. And then literally last night he was like, so how are you feeling about this purchase? Like, are you like into it? I'm like, no, I am. And he was like, well, every time I bring it up, you seem like you want to be anywhere else but in that conversation. And I'm like, I don't have the emotional bandwidth, to use that term again, to focus on that right now because it's not happening tomorrow. It's not happening next week. It's not happening next month. So I don't have the energy to spend on it. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
but I'm just not where you are in that excitement. And he was like, okay, I get it. I just wanted to make sure because the way that you've been reacting and looking and
Well,
responding.
it's kind of a Debbie Downer.
And I don't
Yeah.
mean it to be because I'm excited that he's that excited about it, but I'm just like, girl, I there's so much in my brain that I literally feel like I'm trying to like keep my ears plugged so nothing leaks out and I don't forget something because there's so many little things that I have to remember now.
Mm.
And so I guess that's just that natural resting bitch face that just like comes into play there.
Maybe so. And we all have our thing. Like, I don't know. Scott's always just pleasant with everybody. I mean, I'm really trying to think. Because, like, my thing would be, like, leaving when it's time to go. Miguel's is just like,
Existing.
yes. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
I feel
Maybe
like
you're too young to have a thing.
No, I know what
don't
it is.
know.
Because you're so excitable, it can sometimes come off as disingenuous.
Oh, that's it. That's your thing. That's it.
That's
Oh,
your
You're-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be-
Nobody believes that you're that excited all the
That's
time.
fine.
I mean,
Yeah, I've
even
accepted
someone
that.
who like knows you,
Yeah.
like there are times I'm thinking about that time when you were in Vero and because you had coronavirus in the beginning of or last fall,
Mhm.
and you texted me, Scott, like one random like Wednesday night, and you were like, so have you thought about your book some more? Like, are you going to be, and like we never text like on that level.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this like a topic we're bringing up for the show? Like, why are you like, I don't,
Like, why you being
I don't like, why do you care? Like, what are you talking about?
get the hell
And-
out of my text message?
Like, what are you talking about? And you were just like, I'm just trying to encourage you, like, da, da, da. And I was like, what? I don't.
It's like
what?
it's too nice.
Right.
I've definitely had instances with Scott where he'll like do something or whatever, say something or anything, and I'll just be like, "What's the end game?
Mm.
What you want?
What do you need? Like, why are you being so nice?" Because like I don't think I know anybody that's that.
Like, are you secretly a super villain? And like, you're
Oh
just
my
tricking
gosh.
us?
No, I don't know. Like, I don't really have, again, like, I don't have any moments where I'm like super pissed. Like, unless you do me wrong, as in like do something toward me that's just not the way I would do something, then I'm usually not pissed. But especially like if somebody even like, let's say somebody does do something wrong in my direction or at me, like I tend to just kind of like, I'll get over it pretty quick. Like if it's not going to change my life in any serious way, I'm just going to be like, whatever. Like I'm not going to focus on that. Or just in general, like the people I care about, I genuinely care about. When something hits or when something makes me excitable, like I'm like, I love it. Or in that instance with like, the project that you want to work on, I'm like, that is something I think is so cool. And it's the same thing when I first met you all. I was like, y'all, what you're doing? Like, I love it. I think that's amazing. How can I get involved?
And I just feel like, well, it takes me a while to warm up to people anyway. And
Yes.
I was just like,
oh, I know. I remember this. Yeah.
Again, what's the end game?
Who?
I just don't know. I mean, luckily it's been like 5 years now, and I like you a lot.
I hope
I don't know why. It's just how I am. And
No,
I have to
I get it
accept
when it
that at
meets
some
like
point.
when people meet me, and that's why I literally like warn people. I'm like, I'm gonna come off as I look kind of douchey if I don't speak, and then when I do speak, I sound kind of fake. So as long as you give me a little bit, or you just go in with like don't judge a book by its cover, and just
Right.
allow yourself to be like, wait, give them a chance.
Mhm.
Then hopefully you'll grow to like kind of enjoy me.
I think what the thing is, people are afraid.
Yeah, I think it's
of-
intimidating for people a little bit.
It's intimidating, and I think there's a fear factor because, like, let's say I just upfront believed that you are who you are,
Yeah.
which you are, by the way. That's not a lie.
Right.
However, like, if I sort of like let myself in the first meeting believe that you are all of this,
Mm,
I would be like, and I just let the vulnerabilities out. What if you're not really
Yes.
that nice?
Mm.
And then I'm going to get hurt because I thought you were this nice and you're actually a dick. And like based on other people that I've met, like we all know those people that are nice to your face and then are mean behind your back or
Yeah.
whatever. So we all carry around a little bit of baggage from like, okay, I really want to like this guy, but I don't want to feel the hurt of his disingenuousness.
backstabbing.
So I'm just
bastard.
gonna see how this plays out.
Right.
I think that might be part of it.
That's understandable. That's how I feel about like people messaging me on like, I don't know what the like when I seriously start dating, what that's like. People will message me like, I'm so nervous to meet you, or I'm intimidated. I'm like, why? Like I feel like I'm the goofiest MFer ever, like, to actually meet and hang out with. I try to just be as normal as human because I'm like, I am me. And what you hear, what you see, like, that's what you won't get.
I've had people tell, and I'm sure I know Miguel has had people tell them, like people that tell you, I'm so nervous to meet you. Or like if we've been in public, and this goes along with being on the radio, but like people are
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I'm like fangirling out. And I'm not, I don't, it's very strange.
Mm.
Would you say? Maybe it's just me because I'm like, but I'm not that exciting in
Right.
real
Yeah.
life. Like, I go home and I do the dishes and I yell at my kid about picking her toys up. And I'm like, I feel very normal and very average.
Right.
But then it's like we forget because we only see the three of us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we do this job, which is really cool. And I love what we do. And it's almost like while we're doing it, I forget about the other factor that, oh, there could be thousands of people listening
Yeah.
to me at any given moment.
Right.
And it's like there's a disconnect. So when people are so excited and they're like, I'm nervous to meet you, I'm like, girl, why? I just had to plunge my toilet like 20 minutes ago. Don't be nervous. I
Right.
am just a normal ass person like you are. But
Yeah.
it's weird.
I used to feel that way before Abe and I got together when I was on like Tinder and Grinder and all those apps, and people would message and say stuff, oh my gosh, you're on the radio. And I'm like, girl, I can't even like add, like, I can't balance my checkbook. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I have this crazy thing that I do when I wake up super early and I go do that. And then after that, I'm dead
Yeah.
emotionally for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I come back alive. So that's about it.
Right.
But it's all about perception. Cause I think about that sometimes when I watch, even just watching the Oprah and Meghan Markle, Prince Harry interview and hearing a billionaire talk to millionaires that's also born and married into royalty on this huge estate in California.
Oh yeah, it was set up nice.
Like, that's just their existence. Like, they
Right.
don't, like, that's what they do. And so I always wonder if they like walk into their spaces that they're in. Like Oprah, who comes from like literally like a dirt road in Mississippi, I believe, to like this estate in California.
Yeah.
Is it ever just so surreal? Like that is your life sometimes.
I don't think it is anymore for her, but I think it probably was for a long time. The
Right.
longer you're around it, the less odd it becomes.
Right.
And it's just more like an everyday thing. And the only reason I know this, so my person's parents have a very nice house. I'll say that. And when I say that, I mean like the first time I saw this house, I was like, what the fuck? Like I was like, this is crazy. Like y'all like sleep here?
Oh my gosh. This isn't a museum, it's an actual home.
Okay, so that was then. Fast forward, and now like I show up in my raggedy shirt sometimes because they have a nice pool, and then I'll just be like, hey, I'm going to the pool. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's not my money, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's not his money, it's his parents' money.
Mhm.
But like the fact that I've now been in this house so frequently over, however long, it's not out of the ordinary at all. Even a little bit.
It just
Standards
becomes your
change.
reality. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, this is just where I hang out sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the only way I have any insight into what Oprah must feel like, walking out to her, probably like, Escalade limo or whatever. And she's just like, oh, here's my car.
Right.
Yeah, it's nothing like, oh, here it is. No.
Right.
And so that's why I get so mad at the short-sightedness of people, but they can't help it because you only know your own reality.
Yes.
Right.
The people that were commenting on the Meghan Markle interview and let's leave aside the thing about her talking about how she was suicidal and people not believing that.
Ugh,
Well, that can be another discussion.
disgusting. That's a whole nother podcast.
It really is. But more so on the fact that anybody who was like, these rich people whining about their feelings. And I'm like, I know for you, it must seem like what do they have to complain about? Because look at their
Right.
surroundings and look at the things that they can spend money on, and look at, like, you're probably in a very tough spot, and if you only had, a little bit more money, you could buy, like, food, whatever. Like,
Mhm.
the disparity is there, and I fully understand it. But also, that is just that
It's a
person's
reality.
reality,
Mhm.
right? So, like, what are they supposed to do?
Right. Well, and I also understand that mentality because I used to be that way. Like when you grow up like so poor that
Right.
it's painful,
Right.
and I catch myself doing this now that I've gotten accustomed, thankfully from working hard and, doing this job and, being somewhat successful at it, you get used to a certain lifestyle. And I've noticed that there are some things that I do now that I think about Miguel back in Panama City when, I was working a million jobs and could barely pay you rent. And remember, I used to say, like, my thing back then was, I know that I've made it in radio if I can go and buy myself lunch every
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
Like that was my goal.
Yes.
And so then when we'd go to morning show boot camp, and then you see some of these radio people in big markets like Tampa, and they'd be like, I got a round for everybody, and we're going to go to the nice steakhouse on our own. And we paid our way. Our company doesn't pay for us to be here, but we paid for it and it's fine. And I'd be like, how do you afford, like, what? Like, fuck you. Like, you stupid bitch.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
I still do that too.
Oh gosh.
Well, that's something
Ah.
you have to, that's like an internal struggle for you.
It is. And it will probably always be there because I'll always look and be like, wait, we do the same thing and you make like a million times more than I do. Like, what gave you that fortune in life to be able to do that? So the people looking at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, and it's like, you have to understand that, yes, their settings are comfortable.
Yeah.
And the things that happen around them, and they don't have the stresses of having to figure out how are you going to pay your energy bill tomorrow or where your
Right.
food's going to come from. But there's also the other pressures of work, and maybe they live in this big house and they can't afford it. Like one of the things they talk about in the interview is Prince Harry was like, since his family cut him off, they couldn't afford security.
Right.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
for security, like that's how we afford like car insurance. Like
Yeah.
we got to have car insurance. They need security because
Oh, yeah.
his whole life has been on the world stage.
Someone could just shoot him.
Right. And so like you're worrying about how do you have car insurance because if you don't have it, something's going to happen to your car. And he's trying to worry about how does someone not shoot my wife, me, and my child?
Right.
So the worries are, I don't want to say they're on the same level, but they're just different.
They
And
come
different.
from the same place. It's just that they're different things.
absolutely.
And it's just that I don't know. So somebody, and I don't remember, this was a while ago, and I appreciate her because we've had a couple back and forth since then. It was when Lady Gaga was talking about how she was just in such a state before she put out Chromatica, and the process of actually putting out Chromatica helped pull her out of a really dark place.
Mm.
And the person, I think on Twitter it was like, I don't have any sympathy for her because she's rich, she can afford help. And I was like, yes, you make a valid point because some people can't afford help at all.
Yeah.
And Lady Gaga can obviously afford help.
Mhm.
But there's obviously like a missing piece here that a lot of people are not seeing. If it was only a matter of money, no rich person would ever commit suicide.
Mm.
Period.
Right.
And it happens.
A lot.
Yeah. Strangely, right?
Mm.
So there's an issue where there's like an affordability issue, and that's like one issue overall. But then there's also an issue of money cannot buy you mental health. It can buy you access to help with it. But obviously in Lady Gaga's case, I don't know what she did. I don't know if she like reached out to a therapist or was put on medication, like whatever it was that her path is. I don't know. I'm sure she did that, but whatever she was doing wasn't just an automatic fix for her.
Right.
So you put that across the board to rich and poor people alike. And there's like two different levels of help. Like some people can't even afford to get to that place, but then
Mhm.
some people can afford to get to that place. And it's not a light switch where all of a sudden it just gets better. So
Right.
obviously there's something happening with the collective human race that this is a big issue, and it's not only about money. So that's why I was so sad to see so many people that were like, these rich people are just bitching about their stuff and they have no right to do it. No, they do.
You have a right, yeah.
They do have a right to do it. It's just that they also have money.
Interesting discussion. We'll have to pick this up, but unfortunately, we gotta run. We have two simultaneous meetings. We have to find out how we're gonna do this.
Oh man.
But thank you so much for listening, Scott. What's your social media?
At Scott Tavlin, SCOTTTAVLIN.
Holly.
Radio Holly on the TikTok, the Instagram, the Twitter.
Mine's Miguel Fuller, MIGUELFULLER, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the fun places. And if you want some Miguel and Holly stickers, you can always send me an email, Miguel@hot1015tampabay.com. And please leave us a review if you would. It would help us so much on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio app, wherever you listen to us. Please leave us a review and a rating. We appreciate it. And also, check us out on the Miguel and Holly YouTube page if you want to see all this glory go down. Like, you can see Scott's butt as he's facing us to play the intro or the outro. Hey, booty. All right, until next time. Bye.
Catch up with the previous episodes of the Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast from Hot 101.5.
Just hit up the Hot 101.5 app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Search Miguel and Holly Uncensored.